Alright boys, another cold email YouTube video. So this video is going to be going over how to get clients using cold email in 2025. Now this is a highly requested video from a lot of people. Now some of you may know I own Frostmailer, which is a cold email software tool. Basically we provide the cold email inboxes. So we're doing something at the moment, it's called the cold email build out, and it's completely free. So you just cover the cost or the software expenses, and we build out everything else for you for free. So if you don't want to go ahead and do it yourself, you can just go with us. We can do it for you. Or if you want to do it yourself and go through that, I will actually show you how to do that in this video also. But without further ado, let's get into it. So made this document because I'm pretty sure it's the easiest way to teach you how to do cold email is by using this document. Alright, so this is it here. And I'm just going to kind of walk through this and kind of show you what to do as I go through it, right? So how to get clients using cold emails in 2025. So why cold emails still work in 2025. Now a lot of people actually don't believe that they still work, and it's because it was a lot less saturated back in the day, back whenever I started doing this about 3 years ago. It was a lot less saturated and it was a lot easier to get results. Now obviously it has like expanded, it's kind of adjusted to its ways now. So we have obviously figured out ways to do this ourselves, right? By fixing those problems that have kind of arisen in the past few years with cold email. So it's pretty easy to do, to get around. And I'm going to explain all that in this video. So decision makers still check their inbox daily. So if you're reaching out to these leads, they have no choice but to check their inbox. Because if they're working, like let's say as a marketing manager for a big company, their whole business, like their whole work is basically in their email inbox. So they have to check their inbox every day. It's not like Instagram where you might send a cold DM. People don't have to check their DMs, but on email they do. So that's why it's still really, really valuable. It's pretty cheap to run. It's very cheap. It's only taking up your time and some tools. You don't have to pay for ad spend. It actually doesn't take up much of your time at all. So you can automate like 99% of this process. Or if you want, us to do it for you, it's going to take you no time at all. Scalable, you send 10,000 or 100,000 emails with the exact same process. You can send 10,000 emails with the same process. You use that same process, you can send 100,000. You can send 500,000 if you really wanted to. So that's why it's so scalable, is that once you have that system in place, you can send an infinite amount of emails. It's easy to track and optimize. So obviously if your cold email results aren't great, you can easily find that out and optimize that. So the 4-step cold email process is what I use. Whenever I'm making a new campaign, this is exactly what I do. So step 1 is targeting. Pick a painfully specific niche. So you're not going to want to do this. You're going to want to, for example, target e-com brands or marketing agencies, but that's not going to get you results. All right, you have to be specific. Now, this might be a bit too specific, like in California, you could maybe just say in the USA. You don't have to be very specific, but 7-figure skincare brands is a lot better than just saying e-com brands, right? Now, what I do is if I had a client and he wanted to target e-com brands and he didn't really have a specific niche, what I would do is I would target every single niche inside of e-com brands, but only in different campaigns. So I would first of all start by targeting 7-figure skincare brands, and then I target, 8-figure clothing brands in the USA, and then I just kind of go through it like that. Whatever one works the best, I then double down on that, send more volume to that industry, and just go from there. So the tools I use for this is Apollo, Clay, and Store Leads. Now you don't need Clay and you don't need Store Leads, but they just kind of enhance everything. Now you don't need them. Obviously they're expensive for a reason. You don't need them. They're just going to get you better results. But again, you really don't need them. Now in terms of infrastructure, so this is actually how you send out the emails. So I use Instantly to actually send the emails out automatically. Really easy to use. That's kind of just what we preach. We've been using them for a while. We use Frostmailer for the inboxes. Obviously, that's my company. And we got the cheapest inboxes. And for every 100 inbox you get, you can send 1,500 emails a day. Cheap and scalable, right? So to actually send cold emails, you need to have email inboxes. And that's basically what FrostMailer does, is provide these email inboxes. So next step is going to be, you need these email inboxes to send cold emails. You can't do it without it. Next step is writing the email. Now, this is, it's pretty easy to do, but there's so many different ways to do it. What I would say, just like a few key things, is keep it short. Have like a personalized, it doesn't have to be personalized, but have it actually relevant to them. The subject line should be short, curiosity based, like something like really simple. Subject line I like to use is hey, first name. It works really well, just because it's so basic and it looks like it's coming from an internal employee. The opening line is going to be personalized, relevant to them. Body 2 to 3 sentences showing value. CTA 1 clear question worth a chat. You can also add in a PS line here with authority proving results. So if you wanted to, you could actually add a PS line in here, basically saying we helped X and Y company scale to 100K a month using this cold email system. And this is just an example copy. It's not amazing. I just come up with it off the top of my head, but it works. And this is really easy. If you do go ahead with our free cold email build out, we'll just do all this for you, and this part. So we'll get the infrastructure for you, write the email for you, and basically show you how to get the leads, show you how to do everything else step by step. And it's going to be a lot more in depth than this video. Sending and follow-ups. The tool I use is Instantly. You can use any of these tools really though, but I prefer Instantly. Send 15 emails per day per inbox to protect deliverability. Follow up 3 to 5 times. Make them short, direct. Nothing too crazy. Hi Sarah, I just wanted to float this to the top of your inbox. The goal of the follow up is basically just to get it to the top of their inbox, right? So you don't have to say anything too crazy, too spammy or anything like that. Just want to get it to the top of their inbox, right? And then here's just some tips I kind of come up with. So warm up your domains fully before sending. So it takes 2 weeks to warm up these inboxes and domains. If they've been warming up for 13 days and you want to get started now, resist yourself from doing that, because it's just going to hurt your deliverability and you're just going to plummet everything. So it's really important you wait the full 14 days for a warm up, or else you will just get fucked over and completely bamboozled. You'll just get fucked. Avoid spammy words in subject line or in subject and body. So the way you do this is you go to a website called Spam Checker, and basically what you do is you copy and paste your email. So like, let's say for example, just do this. You copy and paste your email in here and it'll highlight the spammy words. So you basically just have to replace these words with normal words and that don't look spammy. Pretty easy to do. Next, track reply rates and adjust messaging. So if you're getting like a minus 1% or a below 1% reply rate, it just means your messaging is off and maybe you're not hitting the right people, or maybe deliverability is off. So track your reply rates. Always be looking at only your reply rates. Nothing else really matters. Don't track open rates. Don't track click rates. Anything like that. They don't matter. Focus on getting replies, not sending in the first email, right? So your goal is to always get replies. Don't try to get them to buy your 3K email marketing program over email. It's just not going to happen, right? So what you have to do is you have to actually get them to reply first, get them on a call. First step for you is to get them to reply. Then you can get them on the call. Then you can warm call them, etc. Do whatever you want after that. But you are optimizing for replies. You're not optimizing to get them sold in the first email. So this is the math that I've just kind of done. And this is if you wanted to do cold email, this is what you'd be getting, right? So 100,000 emails a month. It's pretty easy or pretty cheap to run and super easy. Again, we do the free cold email build out. We'll do all this for you. Even if you were getting a 0.5% positive reply rate, which is pretty standard, you'd be getting 500 positive replies a month out of those 100,000 emails. You'd be booking 20% of those at least. That's a very low number. That's a very low call booking rate. You should be booking, 40, 50% of them, but let's say it's really low and you get a 20% call booking rate. That's 100 book calls in a month. Let's say you close 15% of those, which again is pretty low. That's 15 new clients a month. And if you're charging, I don't know, let's say like standard, if you're charging like $2,500 a month, which is pretty low, it's 37K in cash collected in a month. And that's basically by saying worst case scenario, right? So a lot of people won't actually believe this, but you can't knock it until you try it. This is like, it just makes sense. 100,000 emails a month. If 0.5% of those people are interested, you will close 15 clients in a month easily, right? So again, if you want the free cold email build out, I'll leave a link in the description and you can just book in with our team. We'll get you set up. But hope you find this video valuable. And yeah, book a call in the description below and we'll be speaking to you soon.